what you see. It's what you see.
Mm.
They putting it everywhere.
Yeah.
I took my grandson to see what was the movie with Buzz Light?
Toy Story?
Not that one, but
the new Buzz. The Lightyear. I think it's called
with
Lightyear.
Kiki Palmer's in that movie.
Okay,
She plays like the daughter. So we watching it, and the lady, which is Kiki's mama, they move on into the space years. They move down the line. They're like, man, she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she had a baby. They both women. How did she have a baby? Shh. The movie ain't over with. So it's like, it's fuck me. I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of shit that I don't have an answer for.
What'd you tell them?
Watch the movie. Eat this popcorn. Shh. These are kids that we have to show that at this age, like,
that part.
They're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
They are going to ask, I don't have the answer.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, as if he has not had enough of a fall from grace, said this when he saw Disney's Lightyear. This scene, a married couple featuring two grown women greeting one another with a kiss. So what's he mad at?
All right, so now people mad at Snoop because he said he feel uncomfortable taking his grandkids to the movies because there was a scene where one of the characters had two moms and he didn't want to have to explain that to the grandkids. And I get that. That's got to be uncomfortable. I totally understand it. And honestly, you can't get mad at Snoop on this. Not this. Because he's traditional. That dude old school. He came from a whole other time. A time where wasn't but hoes and tricks. Who would lick on the... Well, you know the rest. A time where it wasn't no fun. Can't nobody have any fun. Unless the homies could have some. That's sharing. They don't teach them kind of values in school no more. We talking about gin, juice, marijuana abuse, and murder. He ain't got no time to be teaching two moms to some kids. This dude probably still got to explain why he's still throwing up gang signs at award shows. He ain't got no time to talk about two moms to some kids. But I'll tell you what you won't see. You won't ever see him ever show love or respect for or associate with or ever be seen with somebody who has a negative image around them when it comes to how they are around kids. You ain't gonna never see that. Ever, ever. Ever.
What gets me is this.
Think the Bible should be taught in schools?
Yes.
Yeah?
Most definitely. Because children have gotten away from that. Because they have. And it needs to be put back in all the schools, Catholic schools and public schools.
So you want the Bible back in school. Do you think there are books that should be banned from schools?
Yeah, of course.
There is a book that has a story of two daughters getting their father drunk and having sex with them. Would you want that in a school?
No, absolutely. Yeah, of course not. Of course not.
No.
That's outrageous.
That's the devil's work. We don't want the devil's work in school.
All right, well, there you have it. Talk to some people who want the Bible taught in school, but also want the Bible banned in school. So
We have a strong resurgence of this movement that we are seeing take place right now, not even across various states, but across the country. And what it comes down to, at least for me, is parenting. And Snoop simply buckled at the idea of having to explain this.
And here's the really great part. Kids are surprisingly understanding. All you have to really say is, the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in our country, ruled that all marriages are equal and anyone can marry anyone they love. And honestly, the reaction you're most likely to get from your kids is either, cool, or, of course anyone can marry anyone they love. Can I have a cookie? And even if you don't agree with the ruling or with some people's lifestyle choices, what you could say is, there are different people in the world who live very different lives, and the government recognizes that everyone has the right to pursue their own happiness.
How difficult is that, by the way? I mean, the research has shown if you were to have one conversation or you read one book, they'll pick up on it. It is not rocket science to a child, nonetheless. Chris Evans would say of his movie, I mean, it's great. As great as it is, and I've been asked the question a few times. It's nice, it's wonderful, makes me happy. It's tough not to be a little frustrated that it even has to be a topic of discussion. See, that's the main point. Why are we still doing this? Why is it not culturally acceptable as it was many, 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 many years ago that this is the way of life? This is not a big deal, but to the Matt Walshes of the world, or even the Snoop Doggs of the world, can't believe we're lumping them in the same category. It is just catastrophic. It is traumatic to these people. Evans, that it is this kind of news. The goal is that we can get to a point where it is the norm, and that this doesn't have to be some uncharted waters. Wow, I said that like a New Yorker. That eventually this is just the way it is. That representation across the board is how we make films. Look, it's an honor to be a part of something that is taking those steps, but the goal is to look back on this time and just be shocked that it took us this long to get there. True. And there would be some reports of the infighting that took place at Pixar because they were unsure in 2022 if they even wanted to include it. And then they eventually did. In the moving complex would summarize what went down. The same-sex relationship representation in Lightyear became a point of controversy during the film's development. The brief kiss between Hawthorne and her wife in the film was initially cut, but then reinstated after Pixar employees accused Walt Disney Company leadership of censoring overtly gay affection in its films. And Variety had that reporting. Evans would add, every time there's been social advancement as we wake up, the American story, the human story, is one of constant social awakening and growth, and that's what makes us good. There's always, he'd say this to Reuters, there's always going to be people who are afraid and unaware and trying to hold on to what was before, but those people die off like dinosaurs. I think the goal is to pay them no mind, march forward, and embrace the growth that makes us human. Well put. I don't know if we can totally ignore it. I think there are certain points of contention that we can ignore. But when it's someone with this large of a platform who also has been performing at Donald Trump's crypto ball, and he's friends with a member of the PayPal mafia like David Sachs, and he's really at this point just stumping for Trump and right-wing authoritarianism because they threw him a solid by pardoning a friend of his. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. AV Club has more. Due in part to reactionaries like Snoop, Disney is no longer putting it everywhere. Not that the company really ever was. Pixar reportedly axed queer themes from this year's Elio to the film's detriment, after doing the same to Disney Plus's Win or Lose. It was upsetting because my daughter is trans and this is her life. I felt like it was very important that we not hide that fact. The mother of Chanel Stewart, the trans voice actor whose character's gender identity was scrubbed in the latter project, would say last year. There may be some parents out there who are not ready to have that convo, but this is the world that we live in, and everyone should be represented. Exactly, everyone should. Everyone deserves to be recognized. Until that happens, Snoop may want to pick up a book or spend some time on Google so he can answer these pretty basic questions in the future. See, that is what just continues to get me. Like, you know, I as a lot of y'all know that follow this channel, I am a father. These are not difficult. You're not at a crossroads as a parent. Say, oh no, I didn't sign up for this. They showed a woman and a woman kissing. How am I going to explain this? How do you explain it? Explain the bust downs to your kids that you rapped about and that you did in the 90s, Snoop. Explain that. Explain the case that you caught. But this is what you fear? And now he says he's scared going to the movies because you don't know if an animated film is going to show two women greeting each other with a kiss that lasted not even a second. There was no open mouth. It's Pixar, man. It's incredible. A lot of folks were ticked. Demi Gloom said, Snoop was homophobic in the 90s, became pro-gay when Obama legalized gay marriage. Now it's socially acceptable to hate gay people again, so he just went back to how he always was. Another user weighed in, Snoop has a murder trial and prison sentences in his past, but he's worried about explaining the existence of lesbians. Boy George even wrote, so sad to read this from Snoop because you can't turn kids gay by helping them understand that some people are different. You are born gay just like you are born black or anything else. Kids are a reflection of those who raise them. Come on, Snoop. Be the legend you are or get some stronger weed. Always your fan, Boy Gauges. Good tweet. All right. Super simple. just parent your kids. Easy.